is precisely a block. It stops us from looking for transformation. It stops us from looking for that mutation within our own lifetimes, because there is too much investment in the present. Too much investment in the present prevents us from looking, from first of all being aware that there is something else, on the possibility of something else on the table. If I always give you margarine, you'll never know that there is butter, right? So from life, all your life you've had margarine, you never knew there was something called butter. And so we stop ourselves from realizing that there are completely different ways of encountering reality, and that reality, so-called reality, has been our own construction from the time Homo sapiens, appeared on this earth. From wherever they appeared, they have, with their errors and blunders and ways of thinking, they have created this reality. Of course, we don't know that because we have forgotten that past has become swallowed up, and now this is a concrete reality. And when we are asked to invest in this reality in a very profound way, that's when we have the problem of populism. Now, populism has of different kinds. Populism is of political kind. Populism, a pop art, pop culture, painting a beer can, all kinds of things. But underneath all that, there is a tendency in populism to ask us to believe in some version of this reality, not any, but some version. In some version of this reality, we are not asked to be critical of it. We are not asked to be transformative of this reality, but we are asked to somewhere say, okay, let us some better version of this. We versus they. We are somewhere better, and so on. So in this manner, to me, it tends to appeal to the lowest of our sentiments. The lowest of sentiments being that which is easy to agree. The cheapest things that you can agree. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to contradict. You don't have to get, in deep critical thinking about the present. You just accept. Somebody says we are human beings, and you accept you are human beings. You never ask, what the hell is this about? Who is this human beings? What do we mean by human? And what do we mean by human on one side and the being on the other? And why is it kind of hyphenated? Human being, we don't have to ask these questions, because the present is presented to us as a fait accompli, meaning a complete thing in itself, right? So it is against this backdrop of taking things for granted, taking a reality for granted, that it could be Mussolini's Italy in the 1940s, or it could be today's pop culture or pop art. All of them in the backdrop of all of that is take reality for granted. And then we will give you a version of reality that is somewhat better than what we have right now. Right? I'll give you a better version of that reality, right? And that's the thing I'm really bringing up to your notice in that little piece that I've written, that it's dangerous. It is dangerous, precise populism of any kind. And I'm not please don't misunderstand. I'm not some kind of a, elitist that I reject all popular stuff. But there is a danger in populism, that it blinds us to, today there are, universities are full of people who are into, celebrating pop culture, celebrating pop this and pop that. And they say everything else is elitism and so on. I'm not one of those. Nor am I a blind acceptor of elitism. Nor do I reject popular culture out of hand. But I'm just merely warning, raising a question mark against this blind worship of the present. I think it was Terry Eagleton who first called it a very beautiful phrase. He called it present plus. And Eagleton is a marvelous writer, a marvelous thinker. Present plus means a present in addition to the present, right? So it could be some, in other words, some version of the present. A beautiful phrase in which is kind of captivating phrase that captures this whole idea of the present and not looking beyond it, not being suspicious of the present. Now, it was Nietzsche who said that I'm a profound suspicion. I have a profound suspicion of the present, and therefore I look beyond the present. And so, in some sense, yeah, I am also, I suspect the present. I think we need to move beyond the present, not in some fantasy land, not in some projection of our own, but be highly critical of the present. So, why? Because to my mind, the present precisely blocks mutation, blocks the transformation that we are capable of. I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning being the same person. I want to change. If I went down here, I want to get up there. And I don't want to recognize myself in the mirror and say, hey, the same old guy shaving and doing the same old thing. Yeah, of course I need to shave, but I need to do something else. I need to transform. I need to change. I need for you to know, hey, this is not the same guy I knew, right? I don't want to be the same guy. So that transformation is not present in populism. The possibility of the transformation is blocked off because you're blinded by what is going on in front of you, and what should I say, the the festoons that surround so-called populism. So I don't want to go on and on about it, but this is the essential point that I wanted to raise in this piece, a kind of red flag, not also a blind rejection of populism and all various kinds of it, but at the same time saying that, hey, wait a minute, strengthening the present is okay, but you need to do something more than strengthen the present. You need to be suspicious of the present. You need to be critical, highly critical of the present, not in order to get to some slightly changed version of the present, but to get to a completely different kind of present, a completely different kind of approach to our lives. So that's the background of my piece, in which the one that I submitted to Om Prakash ji for inclusion in the anthology, in the encyclopedia of populism.